Welcome to the VoolPlayer Q&A weekly webinar call. We're going to get started here in just 1 minute. Before we do, if you'll be so kind as to confirm that you can both hear my voice as well as see my screen, which should say VoolPlayer Q&A on it, and then we can get started. Thank you. Information from William, at least, that both is clear, so we can proceed. Dean is there as well. Yes and yes. Excellent. Hello, guys. Rather low turnout on the webinar call today. I forgot to turn on the notification for upcoming webinar reminder, but oh well. We can run through the motions, and then hopefully maybe some more people will join, or we'll have an opportunity to dive into some extensive training. So think of something while I run through the admin stuff. So the Q&A session, as the name indicates, there to provide answers to any questions that you as users may have, also to provide training on any advanced features and use cases for integrating video in your business, as well as to showcase new stuff that we've been working on, also to collect any ideas, criticism, suggestions on how we can improve VoolPlayer and continue providing additional value to you. If you are not able to attend any of these webinars, you can access the replays, which are posted weekly on our YouTube channel, which is, there she is, youtube.com/c/VoolPlayer, as well as available on our Facebook group, which is facebook.group/VoolPlayer. And let me just, I don't have my mouse with me, so I'm using the trackpad, which is proving to be incredibly bad decision on my behalf. All right, so that's the replays. Also, keep in mind that if you are also unable to attend any of these webinars, but have one of those suggestions or ideas for improvement inside of the VoolPlayer application, there's always a nifty little icon there allowing you to submit and vote on new ideas, as well as see other items that other people have added. So you can collaborate and kind of help us gather momentum on features for the development. So if you are logged in over here on the left-hand side, you can click on documentation and support and click on submit and vote on new ideas, where you can see stuff that we're currently working on, stuff that we are considering doing, as well as sort of keep up to date with what's been launched. And also, as I mentioned, if you have an idea, you can come and click over here on submit a new idea, give it some priority, and then we can appraise its viability and feasibility, and then get it in front of the community for everybody to share their thoughts on it. So let me just share that link with you guys as well. We have some new people joining. Welcome to everybody joining a little bit late. The format of this webinar is really straightforward. So at any time that you have a question, you can just drop it in this little chat box over here. Or if you came prepared with any questions, that would be a good time just to drop them in that chat box. We'll just answer them in the order that they come in. To people who recently joined, as I mentioned, it seems like we have a rather low turnout on the webinar call today. So this is an ideal opportunity for diving into some extensive training. So if you have any use cases which you would like to run over, now would be a good opportunity to do so. So the format of the webinar: replays, groups, channels, etc. I think we covered all of the sort of housekeeping stuff. Got that out of the way, so that's good. Just a small update from us on sort of the stuff that's being worked on. So as you know, the entire rework of the funnels modules is what's currently occupying most of our energy as we move forward with the efforts in the second quarter, and are looking to make the overall experience as well as the structure of those funnels a lot easier to work with. So progress on that is that we've sort of restructured the data to a model where we feel it's natural for it to be and for it to grow. So that's where we are currently, and also we started getting some visuals around how we want that flow chart and how we want the interactions to appear. So by next week, we're gonna have a draft of a very rough draft of sort of what we want to accomplish with the new funnels, at least sort of the very basic ideas that we can get in front of you guys, so that we can start developing a conversation on that topic. Also, as you know, in parallel with that, we're continuing our work on the screen recording and direct import to VooPlayer. Last week, I've mentioned a lot of hardware issues with connecting to other people's microphones and recognizing different camera resolutions, etc. The gist of which is really we are not really going to try and debug all of those issues, as I think the number of combinations of different hardware accessories is something that we're definitely not going to be able to troubleshoot at any time soon. So more or less, we're going to start packaging up the Chrome extension and getting it out the door to the Chrome Web Store, and then we're going to make it live and hopefully then start getting all VooPlayer users who have use cases for that Chrome extension, which if you are not familiar with what I'm talking about and are just joining, you can get. We've been over the Chrome extension many times in the these webinar sessions. So I'll just share a link so that you can see what I'm talking about. Chrome extension. Here's a documentation article on what all is available within that extension, what use cases it covers. So let me just get you that link. So that's going to be packaged and shipped out the door on the Chrome Web Store pretty soon. All right, cool. So that's small update on my end. So we can start getting to questions. Lewis has a small clarification which is needed. So let's see what's going on there. So here are the prices for additional storage and bandwidth. The $3 and the $2 discrepancy. That is, I think the correct pricing there is $2, if I'm not mistaken. But and I think there's a good reason for why that can't be adjusted. Let me just double check that for you. So I'll just take a quick look at the plans for storage. And I'll let you know which is correct. And the correct for storage is storage. What was that? 10 gigabyte? 10 gigabyte storage. Give me 1 second just to see if it's probably just on the second page. I didn't see there was 2 pages of this. Storage 10 gigabytes is $2. So $2 is the correct pricing, and you're always going to be charged $2, even though if it says $3. And I think if is this from the documentation? If it's from the documentation, then it needs to be corrected. Thanks for bringing that up, Lewis. Actually. While I'm here, just to double check if nobody minds using storage, right? It's that article. Prices. Nope, It's not from here. Louis, could you actually clarify a little bit on this screenshot? Where is this left-hand side coming from? Where did you get that reference for $3? I know where this reference for $2 is, and that doesn't need to be corrected. But I'm curious about where the $3 reference is from. If you can just shoot me a link to that, I'd be grateful. Will is asking, can a funnel provide live results, like how much a video, a course, or content has grossed? If you are, I think I understand what you mean, so let me try and take a stab at it. So if you were creating a funnel, and then within that funnel you had a couple of answers, and each answer could in turn customize some content down the road, I believe in that regard that could be achieved through a combination of the funnels as well as funnel answers, as well as the personalization feature, meaning that we would de facto be allowing you to combine the answers from the funnel questions with the personalization parameters, which are available within the overlays, as well as email locks and other parameters. So you could use the previous answers that people have provided from within the funnel to personalize the content down the road. And there is, as you know, a lot of custom values within the funnels, which provides you the ability to kind of do neat stuff with that. So let me just pull up. I don't know if I have an example or a funnel. If not, I can mock up something quickly. Let me just see if I have one already. So let me just come over here to funnels. I think this might actually be a good one. So currently in funnels, as you know, you have, actually I did customize all of this because I was sending these tags to the CRM. So you can assign custom values for, so the answer here is sneakers, and you can sort of provide custom values for it. You can add sort of monetary values for those answers. So all of those values are stored when somebody picks that answer, and currently they can be, but the plan is in the future you would be able to utilize all of those both answers as well as the metadata associated with those answers to personalize the content down the funnel. I don't know if that answers your question. Well, if not, maybe you can just elaborate, give me an example of what you wanted to discuss. Louis is asking, do beta features appear in sub accounts? I think it was in my site and client doc. Let me just double check on that, because then my site and clients, because then it might not necessarily be wrong, because there we go. Additional storage is charged every month. All right, cool. So here are the prices for, and this is for you, right? And I think where this confusion came from was that you, as a provider of services for the white labeled accounts, i.e. for your clients, you can determine these prices on your own on what's going to be displayed to your customers. So that's, I think, one of the reasons why there was confusion, because I think somebody upped the price by $1 for that storage plan for their clients, or maybe I even did for testing purposes just to figure that out. And I think that's where the confusion kicked in. Thanks for pointing it out. We'll be sure to rectify that. Let's see. I didn't answer the question. Do beta features appear in sub accounts? Do beta features appear in sub accounts? I believe they do. Yes. I'm just thinking out loud if I can think of an example. Yeah. I think they do. I don't have a sub account that I can demo this with right now. I would have to dig one through the database, but yeah, I would, the beta features themselves, I'm pretty sure they appear in sub accounts. I paused there for a minute because I was looking at the link that you sent in. But yeah, that's the article that we identified the typo on. Thank you for bringing that to our attention. Dudley, hello Dudley. Getting a message unable to subscribe to stream in a reasonable amount of time. Is this me or you? If you would provide us with a link, we'll gladly test that out. Definitely the webinar, if it turns out to be an issue, definitely the webinar would not be the most appropriate place to discuss that. I would recommend you contact support@woolplayer.com. That way we can get our engineering team on it as quickly as possible if there's an issue. But definitely would love to get that link in the webinar just so I can take a look at it and maybe just if there's something obvious glaring about that that we can troubleshoot it. So Dudley, if you want to just send a link on where you're getting that message, unable to subscribe to a stream in a reasonable amount of time. That's the first time I've seen that error message show up anywhere. I'm wondering who that message is coming from, because I don't think that message is coming from us. I'm pretty familiar. Unfortunately, I am pretty familiar with all of our error messages. I don't think that's something that we put out. Remember, it's fine. Open token. I'm gonna try a live stream for my. No. Nope. Yeah, just we'll wait for that link, Dudley, and then if you can set it in, then we can explore it a little bit further. Lewis is saying, I customized my enterprise account, my own domain, etc., and all is fine, apart from still getting a pop-up when leaving a video, whether I save the changes or not, and it shows up app.woolplayer.com and not my domain. Actually, really glad that that you brought that up. There was a lot of people who were pretty annoyed by that pop-up. And the last week, what is it today, Monday? Actually, yesterday, I think we completely deleted this pop-up. So this pop-up is never gonna show up again. So no need to worry about that. This was in reference to the pop-up which pops up saying you have unsaved video changes in your video edit. We are getting rid of that pop-up, and we'll be storing the data and saving the data a little bit more differently. So no more annoying, are you sure you want to leave without saving pop-up? All right, cool. Will is saying, is the new visual funnel, in the new visual funnel, would we be able to see monetary data coming from a video? In a new visual funnel, in the new visual funnel builder, I'm assuming you mean in the application on the back end, would you be able to see monetary data coming in from a video? I'm assuming that's what your question is. So that would have nothing to do with the actual builder of the funnel. You couldn't see the monetary values for that, because then you would have to show them all on top of the questions as you're working on them. For that, we always have the analytics. So the analytics themselves, I don't think I have any monetary value assigned to the answers in this funnel. But if monetary values are assigned to the answers, then they can be explored in the analytics. And there's nothing to say that just because we're building the rebuilding the builder for the funnel, we can also rebuild the analytics for it as well. So depending how we prioritize that, we might also rework the analytics for the funnels, and then see how much there is to do there, really. Dudley is, no, sorry, I skipped. We had Lewis. We good. It shows up whether you save it or not. Dudley is saying, if it's me, how do I correct it? I can't tell you without getting the link. So if you can send us, let me just maybe type it out. Maybe Dudley is having issues hearing me. So Dudley, can you please send in the link which is giving you the error? All right. Ricardo is saying, I will use the Chrome extension. Info sounds nice. Pleased to hear that, Ricardo. If you currently and the Chrome extension is currently available in the sort of beta mode, which means that you have to download it as a zip and then enable developer mode extensions in your Chrome and all of the neat steps which are described within the within that article. So if you are willing to test it out, you're able to do so right now, and we would really appreciate that as we're kind of monitoring the usage of that, which gives us some better data and for the understanding of those use cases, as well as are eager to get some feedback from people using it at support@vulplayer.com, so that we're double checking that we're doing the right thing. All right. Will is saying yes. Lewis is saying, does the rectangular play button not work with the flat control player? Maybe a screenshot, Lewis. Sorry, traditional player. Does the rectangular play button not work with the traditional player? It's possible. It should work. I don't see a reason for it not to work. We can take a look at it. So the combination is, if I got that right, is, so we want to keep this rectangular button, but we want to change the skin of the player from modern flat to traditional. All right, so that's going to change the button shape on its own. And where do we want the button shape to default? Oh, I see what you mean. So you can only do square with traditional. Yeah, that's a miss on our behalf, because the default for the traditional is actually circle rather than a rectangle, as is for the flats. So yeah, it's very feasible to do this. We just need to rename this a little bit, as you currently have the default, which is the square on that needs to be just rectangle. So that'll work. Thanks for bringing that up as well. The default circle or square. The rectangle should definitely work with this, and it's just a small oversight on our behalf. Thanks for letting us know about that. Good to have fact checkers like Lewis around. Always catch the small details which get you in the end. All right. All these little things help. Exactly. Very appreciative of any small issues, feedback, or large ideas for future improvements or reworking complete modules of VulPlayer. We wouldn't rework funnels if people weren't using it. People were using funnels and were having troubles with trying to identify how to use it to match their use cases, and it turned out that we were so wrong about how people wanted to use funnels that basically we just decided, hey, let's rework the entire thing from the ground up. So we're always excited to hear from our users, as we are highly community driven, and that's what really decides our priorities and the direction in which we move. All right. If we have, we got a question from Dudley as well. Dudley is saying, I'm trying to enter the training. I can only see the chat. Oh, Dudley is seeing the gotcha. All right. I thought Dudley was nah, let me just quickly answer to Dudley. Sorry. Dudley, sorry, webinar was okay. Catch the replay on YouTube. Louis is saying, will the new funnels allow a branch to link back to original video? You can already do that with current funnels. So yes, it's going to be supported with the new funnels as well. However, I'm assuming your question is not really original video at the point you left. We discussed this once before. Yes. And that's a very significant clarification, because with the current setup, you could kind of circle back to the original video, but not to the original video with the questions which were within it. And that's the major rework of the funnels that we wanted to facilitate, which was give you the ability to jump back and then sort of circle back and then repeat questions, and treat the funnels as sort of a quiz module where you can branch multiple answers into the same question. So that's something which you weren't able to do before, where you have one question with answers 1, 2, and 3, and then have all 3 of those answers linked to the second question is something that was not necessarily, I mean, in defense of funnels don't necessarily work like that. Funnels work in a manner which is you have 1, 2, 3, and each one of those does a different thing. So I think the funnels have their place, and I'll think we'll keep calling this funnels, but it will support more flexible flows of visitors through them by allowing for both the flat level hierarchies of questions, allowing the users to jump from one point to another without losing the progression of the questions. However, the tricky part about that is going to be, and I'm not sure, so this might be food for thought, Louis. If you jump back to a point in time and somebody has already provided an answer for a particular question, should that question appear again, or should it not, or should that be something left at the user discretion? And our view is that it should not. So if you answer to a question and then jump back to the start of the original video, I see no reason for that question to appear again. I think it's a different question at that point. +1 on what Louis has stated about funnels and going back to the original point. Thanks for making this happen. Yes, it should be shown again just after the previous option, or like Dean says, can work either way. It could definitely be a configurable option which says at any point that this question appears, show it and ask it again. But then at that point, it becomes if the user has previously answered A to a particular question, and then we show it to them again, and then they answer B, then we're overriding the answer which they have previously stored on that, so you would no longer have that answer A. Depends on how your funnel is set up and for what purpose. Exactly, and that's what kind of makes it really hard to create these is the setup and the configuration can vary so much, so that accommodating all of those different use cases within a flexible flow is something that's extremely difficult, but something that we've been working on for the last couple of weeks or so, just on that structure of the data. So I think we're going to be able to achieve some better results soon. Lewis is also saying, depending on how much your funnel is set up and for what purpose. Exactly. All right, cool. We're running out of time, so I'm glad the discussion around funnels is finally heating up. So if you excuse me just for one moment, sorry. Had a phone call which I had to get to. That's why I kind of wanted to get off the webinar. Not that I'm not enjoying my time here, but all right. So with that out of the way, we'll have something that he wanted to. We will need to pay to watch monetary analytics in the new visual funnels to track how well a course is doing. Can this work with current payment gateways? That seems overly complicated for me to even try and wrap my head around. I'll copy and paste that in my notebook to try and think about that and break it down. We will need to pay to watch monetary analytics in the new visual funnels. I got you. So pay to watch gate in the new funnel. So if you wanted to gate the funnel, yeah, that could work. Yeah, sure. Why not? Actually, that wasn't as hard as I imagined it would be. So basically, you want to see the gated content by a paywall protected in the funnel analytics. Definitely something that's achievable. All right, Will's question training video for next week. Actually, it's a pretty, but we can dive into the payment if payment walls if you want to. All right, cool. Again, let's try and wrap this up this time. Thank you all for joining this week. Thank you for continuing to make WillPlayer better. Really glad that the discussion around funnels is heating up. Hopefully, we'll see you next week. I think I can promise some sort of a sneak peek of upcoming funnels, at least sort of the rough draft of the ideas that we have for it, and then we can sort of bounce ideas back and forth on the call. Again, thanks. Hopefully we'll see you next week and have a great remainder of this week. Bye, guys.